I can hear you. Yep.
Yep. All right, hold on. Zoom is asking me to update. Holy crap. Come on.
Oh, geez. So the thing is, when I talked through all the different options, she's like, Cindy, I don't have a dollar to put against it. Like if we sell for, if she's upside down on it, she's like, I don't have any money. I have none. Then what do we do? And I'm like, well, then we're going to have to look at a short sale.
So bear with me as I don't have the video, but I can see you. You just can't see me. And I don't want to go through like a reboot and have me update while we're doing the call. So bear with me. I
Yeah.
apologize. So here's a thought process on the VA. So you think it'll sell for 200, but I'm going to do some
Oh,
math
no,
with you.
I would probably list it for 200 and hope for 220,
Okay.
just because I would think at that price point at 200, there's going to be a ton of interest.
So let's do this for the sake of math. Let's assume that
Yep.
a VA 30-year fixed mortgage today at 200,000 is 1,300 a month. Are you with me?
Yep.
Okay. So $200,000, 6 3/4, 30 years is 1,300.
Right.
Let's assume they owe 220. What interest
Yeah.
rate is their current note at?
Let's say 3.5. It might actually be a little lower than that, but let's just say three
Okay.
and a
So
half.
at 3.5, the payment is 990.
Right.
990. I don't believe you have an issue at all because you're selling the assumption, not the house.
Right. Right.
So I wouldn't be worried about, oh, it's going to sell for 210. We're upside down. We got to do a short sale. I actually believe you don't need to do any of that.
Yeah.
I would buy, in other words, if I'm a veteran and I'm looking
Mhm.
at that house, let's just say for the sake of example, I only want to pay 200. Great. Go get a mortgage for 200. It's 1,300. Or you can
Right.
assume mine at 220 for 980.
Right. Right.
I don't think you have a short sale. I just
Yeah.
market the assumption.
Right. So here's the thing. Hopefully everyone else will find this helpful. It's my understanding that it doesn't have to be a veteran to assume it. But if a non-veteran assumes it, then she loses her ability to get a new VA loan. Is that
Well, and again, so I'm not the underwriter expert. I know enough
right?
to cause a fire, right? So
Yep.
what I would suggest, and I literally just did this with another agent on Thursday. So here's what I tell every agent. You guys should probably apply this if what I share with you makes sense. So you should be getting mortgage statements for every seller. Normally, what I hear is that the realtor waits for the title company to do that. And I'm like, wait, I'm confused. Why would you let the title company do that? You should have the mortgage statement for two reasons. Number one, you want to be different from any other agent because no agents ask for the mortgage statement. That's number one. Number two, you may have a VA mortgage or an FHA mortgage, both of which are assumable. So this realtor did that. She gets the mortgage statement. And if my video was working, I would show it to you. But on my camera, she then texts me the mortgage statement. They're at 3.25. And I'm like, okay, let's do this together. We called the mortgage company. We dialed through, we got to their assumption department. They told us what to do and how to do it. It's really simple. All you
Good.
need is the seller's authorization to engage in assumption. The seller signs 2 documents, boom, the buyer can now apply for the assumption. From what I
Yeah.
understand,
So
Sen, go
oh,
ahead.
I have an appointment this afternoon for the seller and I to call the mortgage company together.
Perfect. Yeah, as a general statement, you all should be getting mortgage statements from your
Yeah.
sellers every single
Yeah.
time,
Love that.
especially in a high rate market. But my point is, with your seller, call the mortgage company, find out what the assumption is, and ask them what rules they're qualifying a buyer on. They'll tell
Okay.
you. To the best of my knowledge, you must be a VA, a veteran, to assume a VA mortgage. However, here's your asterisk. The servicer can decide what they want to do.
Okay.
So I don't want to give you an answer that I don't know and say, no, no,
Yeah.
no. In my 27 years, only a veteran can assume a VA mortgage.
Okay.
But call the servicer and ask.
Yep. I will. So my other challenge is it's a dinky little town, 900 people, so how many veterans are going to be in that town or neighboring town?
Agreed. You're
Yeah.
probably right, but you are talking to a veteran who did buy in that town.
Uh, Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
There might be one
So,
more.
yeah.
So that's the thought process, but that would be the
Yeah.
angle that I would have.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. So then I would also be checking with your rules and regulations as a real estate agent. So I'm going to tell you what I would do. It doesn't mean it's right. I am not Mr. Respa. So
Mhm.
what I would be doing, and from what I understand, if the seller tells you this is what they want, you have a better chance of doing it, but please check with your rules. I would
Mhm.
literally be posting the monthly payment and letting
Mhm.
them know that today, average VA rate, I'm making this up,
Mhm.
6.5%, 6.75%, and this one is at 3.25%. You can
Mhm.
assume this payment as opposed to getting that payment. I would literally put that in the description because most
Right.
real estate agents do not understand this. They have no clue. They've not been taught, and they don't understand its value. So I always say to all of you guys and everybody that I'm coaching or talking to, just think about this for a second. If you were a buyer, take the real estate hat off for a second. If you were a buyer and you had two options, the monthly payment on this house is going to be 1,300 or 980. Would you want to know the difference and why there's such a dramatic difference? The answer obviously is yes. Great. You can assume this. What am I
Right.
assuming? Their $220,000 mortgage, but you said it's only worth 200. That's why I said be careful when you think that way. But the thought
Right. Right.
process is, do you plan on moving in the next year, 2, 3, 4 years? No. So what does it matter what the value is? You're not selling.
Right.
Now, if you tell me you're buying this house and you want to be out of there in a year, well, if the market doesn't recover, then you actually owe more than what it's worth.
Right.
But if the market recovers and or you're not selling, who cares?
Right.
Like really,
Right.
what is the difference? The payment's $420 cheaper if you take over the other guy's note.
Right.
And typically less costly. I'm a mortgage guy. The
Mhm.
bank charges $1,500 for an application. I don't charge that. That's not my money. I don't get that. That goes to the bank. When you do an assumption, there is no cost.
Right.
Appraisal, $600. That's not my money. That goes to the appraiser. Assumption, no appraisal.
Right.
So right out of the gate, you're $2,100 cheaper. And that's not including, hey,
Right.
are there points? Are there additional fees? Is there a flood search? Do we charge an underwriting fee, et cetera, et cetera? There's none of that. There's none of that.
Mhm.
Now, it's possible the servicer says we charge $250 to transfer documents. I don't know. Ask the servicer. What are the costs
Yeah.
associated with the assumption to the seller and or the buyer? Gang, to continue to nail this thing home for everybody, and I apologize. Normally, I'm aggravated at people that aren't on video, and here today I'm not on video. I can't get my camera to work, and I don't want to reboot Zoom, so I apologize for that very much so. So for everybody in real estate right now, please appreciate the concept of seller financing and assumptions. If I were in your shoes, I would be telling every human being, every buyer, every seller I know about the power of that. When you have a high rate market, everybody needs to have an education about seller finance deals or assuming somebody else's mortgage. It's brilliant. It saves you time. You're not dealing with me. Oh, my underwriter said we need 3 more conditions. My underwriter wants this. My underwriter, oh crap, another delay. Now I got to get another extension. You literally just cut me, the mortgage guy, out of the equation. I'm out. Please appreciate I feed my family by doing mortgages, but I'm also here to coach you. And I have to coach you properly. And coaching you properly is not necessarily getting me mortgage business. Coaching you properly is showing you the angle to increase your sales and make it even more simpler. So thinking about that concept, every one of your sellers should be giving you a mortgage statement. If you get a VA mortgage statement or an FHA mortgage statement, they are both assumable. If those interest rates are twos, threes, fours, or fives, they are better than what the interest rates are today. So somebody can assume the seller's mortgage, walk right into their payments at the lower interest rate. It is a seamless process, gang. And you're never dealing with an underwriter or a loan officer
Well,
asking for
hey,
more stuff. We're not involved. Yes, Heather.
Um, my question is, if they assume the loan, how, like, for instance, I've got one that's getting ready to come up. I know that it's FHA. If in the event I was able to have that discussion with my client and she was like, heck yeah, we can do that. However, what would it look like? Like if she only owes, let's say 100,000, we sold it for 200. How does that work on the buyer side?
Great question. I'm back. It worked. All right,
Hey,
here we go. All right, you ready? Let's do that. How much do you think the house will sell for?
Are you asking me or are you asking Heather?
Heather, I'm asking you. It's your scenario, right, Heather?
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, how
right,
much will the house sell for?
honestly, right now, we're gonna list it closer to like 260 because comps are right around that. So, but realistically, it would be on the higher end. I just said, level numbers to make it easy.
Yep. 260 is the sale price. Can you all read that or no?
Yep.
260 is the sale price. What does the mortgage statement say, Heather?
It says that she owes right around, I want to say 109, so about 110.
Okay, we'll call it 110. What's the interest rate on the 110?
She bought it at a good time, buddy. It's
Let's
three
just
and
say 3.5. Okay. All right. So right now it's selling for 260. You're going to assume their note for 110. So the difference between those two is 150,000. So I'm assuming the 110, but you still owe us 150. Well, more than likely, an FHA buyer does not have $150,000 laying around. So what do you do? You get a second mortgage for the 150. So a second mortgage might be, for the sake of example, 8%. So then what I would do is I would look at what the monthly payment is on the 110. Now I'm going to make this up because I don't have the statement in front of me. So bear with me as I just run these numbers for you guys just to show you. Now, just so we're all on the same page, I don't have the statement, so we're just working this together. 493. So if they're assuming a payment of that, and then we look at 150. $1,100.
I see what you're doing. Are you gonna do the 250 at the 8% now to compare?
Correct. At a girl. So walk with me, everybody, okay? 260 is the sale price. The buyer is assuming the $110,000 note at 3.5%. So that means the payment is 493. I don't have the statement, but I'm doing the math for you guys. Payment's 493. I do second mortgages. So I would do a second mortgage for 150. I'm assuming it's at 8%. Could be lower, but I'm just going to assume 8%, 150. Puts the payment at 1,100. So that right now, the grand total payment is $1,593. If they went and, does anybody have a question so far about that? If they went out today and got a mortgage for the full 260, just for the sake of numbers, the payment would be 1708. So you're $115 cheaper to assume the 110, get a second mortgage for the 150. You're $115 cheaper. Tell me you have a question or tell me you understand that.
I mean,
Yes,
and
we're
really,
good.
yeah, and I was gonna say, and to add to that, I mean, the 110 that you assumed, you've already got some years down because you took it over, so you're not starting it over, correct?
Yeah, and again, that's stuff that I don't know because I don't have the statement. I mean, if they were in the house for 5 years,
Yeah, I got you.
right, but I'm just saying on the surface, just look at the number. You're getting a mortgage for 110, and it's possible, let's just go for the sake of example, if you're not aware of this, in the beginning, when you get a 30-year mortgage, most of the payment is toward interest. After about 23 years, 20 years, 18, 17 years, more of the payment goes toward principal. But what if they're into this thing for 20 years? A bulk of the interest you're paying is now going toward principal. That could be a really good place, to Heather's point. I don't know any of that. I don't have the statement. I don't have the data. So I'm just looking at the hard facts, just showing you how this math could work very favorably for your buyer. And more importantly, favorable for your seller because you are seen in a different light. Nobody sat down and did this with the seller. I've been doing this since 1998. When the rates were 2%, we never talked about this. Nobody wants to assume somebody's 6% when I can get 2.5. Doesn't make any sense. But when the market shifts the opposite way, you should be very excited. I'd be calling, get your title company, get somebody to help you, or research the data. Every homeowner in your town that has an interest rate in the 2s, 3s, or 4s, I'd be calling. Let me show you how you could sell for more than what your house is worth. Because you'd be selling the assumption, not the house. At the very least, we're not ready right now, Cindy, but thank you. Nobody brought that to our attention. So when are you considering moving? In 2 years when my kids graduate. I'll be in touch with you every quarter. Gang, this is a marketing tool like you've never had before, and the market's giving it to you. Instead of being pissed off at the government, be like, oh, thank you. You just created a new angle for me. But Paulie, I need to make money today. I got news for you. Some of those people that bought homes 3, 4, 5 years ago and got 2 and 3%, they want to sell, but they didn't know this was an option. Nobody taught them. You're leaving money on the table, gang, if you are not exploring every homeowner in your town that bought 3, 4, 5 years ago and got 2s and 3s or even 4s. Think about it. What are your thoughts or questions about that angle? Nothing? We're good?
What percentage of loans are assumable? I know you don't know that number, but you probably have a gut.
100% of every VA loan and FHA loan are assumable. 100% of them.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. The difference now is in the servicer. If I am, I don't want to give names, but if I'm a servicer, if I'm the mortgage company that's servicing this FHA loan, and even though FHA loans are assumable 100%, if the servicer comes up for a reason that they don't want to do this, they could just deny the buyer. Why would they want to now have you assume a 3.5 when they could sell you a 6.5?
So let me rephrase that. What percentage of homes out there have an FHA or a VA loan compared to a conventional?
Somebody chat GPT that sucker. You normally chat PKC, Paul K. Conti, but I don't know that number. But that'd be interesting.
I was wondering if you, just because you're in the market, you might have a gut feeling based on the number of loans that you do.
Yeah, I don't know. And again, keep this in mind too. So think about this. What do you know about FHA in comparison to conventional? In your real estate mind, would you rather have a conventional buyer or an FHA buyer? What are your thoughts?
Conventional.
Jeanette, what do you think, Jeanette?
In my market, I would say conventional only because unfortunately, there's a lot of realtors that are not educating people on the opportunities with FHA and VA.
Right.
And there's a lot of sellers that do not want to do the requirements to meet the standards. And I mean, truly, it's just basic living conditions. So again, it goes back to the education.
Very good. Jeanette, your thoughts?
Yeah, conventional.
Conventional.
Yeah.
So
I,
just let me, go ahead. Go ahead,
I
Jeanette.
just wanted to ask, because since I was able to come off mute as I was washing dishes and stuff, so, but, I am curious because I've had now like the young savvy buyers, if you will, start asking me a lot more, well, can't I just assume their loan? And I'm like, slow down there. Like, let's really, from what I understand, and I guess that maybe I don't understand a lot, but how hard is it actually to get that to go through? Because the last thing I want to do is say to my buyer, yeah, let's, we're going to go after houses that we can call that seller, the seller's agent and say, hey, is your seller willing to assume? But then I don't want to start the process and then we lead down a road that we just can't get through, kind of thing. So I'm curious what you're
so
that.
beautiful question. Here again, I'm highly encouraging you all to do this. Make sure you not only get the mortgage statement, but you actually call the servicer with your seller. And personally, if I'm you, I record the call. I taught you all this before. All of my calls are recorded. So I have call recordings when I make phone calls for assumptions. Don't take my word for it, buyer. Let's listen to my recording.
Gotcha. But what if you're working only with the buyer? What if it's not, like, if I'm just the buyer's agent, I don't, I'm not selling their property per se? Because then I can't get the mortgage statement.
So you can use my experience because we're working together. We should be, but nonetheless.
Sure.
So the idea is, so you personally have never completed an assumption, but you know all of the steps because you work with a lender that helps complete the assumption. Let's get Paul on the line. We'll do this together. I offer this to all of you guys. I'll help make the phone call. I'll record it. I'll walk you through because I am a lender. Even though I'm not the lender in that scenario, I can answer every question that you might not be able to. And for you to have access to me like that makes you look better to your buyer. And to be able to talk this language to a buyer, because now, think about it. If I knew a little bit and went on ChatGPT and learned everything about an assumption and you couldn't talk to me about an assumption, I don't want to use you.
Right. That's and I don't want to step in something that I don't want to step in. And so I kind of shy away. But in all fairness, that's not fair to my buyer either, because they really, I mean, these guys he's witty. He's removed, but he's in the industry. He installs windows. So he's in people's homes all the time. He's talking to different people. He's around people that are very savvy. So the last thing I want is for him to catch somebody that's a little bit more versed to this, but it's, and my broker has done him and he's kind of walked me through it. So I have a good resource, but it's very intimidating to get to that point and then have to be able to, to say, oh, wow, okay, I guess that didn't go as well as I was expecting.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from and saying all of those things. And it sounds like you understand where I'm coming from, if anything. And I'm not talking about this fiduciary thing and all that legal stuff. Just think about creating separation from other agents. They're not taking enough time to learn the power of this. So first thing I say is it creates separation because one of the things I teach all the time is this. I say, the best way to get somebody to be attentive to your guidance is to ask them a question they can't answer. So buyer, as you're preparing to go down this first time, third, fifth time purchasing a home, you are aware that you have the ability to assume somebody else's mortgage, correct? I don't. Wait a second. You didn't know that? Oh my goodness. Get your notepad out. Let's take some notes. I'm going to blow your mind. Instant separation, Jeanette. Instant.
Interesting.
Yes.
And
so it's
Cindy,
a presentation angle. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Right. I was just going to say, and Cindy, I'm kind of leaning into your experience because that's what's kind of really prompting is that in addition to what Paul is saying too, is Now we're talking about going to my seller who might be elderly. Maybe they are upside down. Maybe they have a second mortgage. They, how are we going to sell this and actually get them to walk away without owing anything? And so now it's bringing it to the point what both of you are saying. So, and I didn't really think about that. That's the reason I'm on this call is I'm really trying to push into the senior field and I haven't broken through, I haven't gotten to that point yet. I'm still new as an agent, period. I'm 3 years in. So, this is all I appreciate. This is exactly the kind of stuff that I'm trying to learn and understand better. So this is great.
It was great having you come to call, Jeanette, and do me a favor, do yourself a favor, do your family a favor, do your bank account a favor. Don't attempt to legitimize the lack of something by your term. I'm only 3 years in. I'm only,
Right. That's true.
you can do whatever you want, but it's almost like you're putting that up. See, that's why I don't know. I'm only in
Sure.
3 years. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
ChatGPT
There's probably
makes us a
people who've
seasoned
been in
veteran
20
in
years
30
that don't
minutes.
know it. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, there's probably people who've been in it 20 years that don't know.
I teach
Yeah.
all the time, Jeanette. They don't know it. Yeah. So don't do yourself a favor. Don't use that as a crutch. You come to this
Sure.
call for that reason. And also keep in mind, I tell people this all the time. The joke is you're trying to figure out how to break into a bank, as you will. Like we've all seen a movie or something where somebody's trying to break into the bank, weeks researching, watching the security footage. When do people go in and out? Getting the schematics, getting the big drill, breaking it at night. You're trying to break into a bank when the manager is holding the keys. Why would you put so much effort into breaking into? You already are in there. Now, let me give you an example. Anybody that you've helped buy or sell a house that has a parent means you're in the senior space. You just needed to know how to communicate to the parent. You're already
Sure.
there. These are the keys,
Gotcha.
darling. I got
Yeah.
the keys.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So
true.
that's my angle. I look, because I'm a little bit older, I'm in my 50s. I look at everything and say, okay, I don't have time on my side, so I better find a more efficient way to do this. So every
That's
person,
true.
think about every buyer and seller, every friend that you have. If they have parents that are living, you're in the senior space. The question now is, what questions are you asking them to be in the senior space? And that's where I could be helpful. Felicia, Corey, Gretchen, we have all that information to say, these are the questions. This is what you should be saying. But my point to everybody is, you're already in the senior space. Stop looking for something you already have, but nobody told you where to look. You're
Right.
already there.
Yeah. Well, I'm
See what I mean?
also I'm also a physical therapist for 14 years in the inpatient
Oh.
rehab side of things.
Senior
So
space.
So I do have, but it's funny because I jumped on these calls. I had somebody had recommended it that I met in the senior real estate specialist course for real estate agents. And so I was like, all right, like I'm just gonna start making like, hey, guess what? I'm a PT too. And people are like, okay, cool. And I'm like, oh man, really? I'm a PT, come on. And it's not just that easy. So I actually, one of my questions, not to veer off topic, but I'd be curious if anybody else also is, I haven't heard, because I'm part of other calls and, just trying to learn. What about going into home health agencies? Because I'm a PT, I kind of like picture, I've never done home health myself specifically, but I've worked in people's homes. And that's like, once you're in that person's home, you see firsthand. So has anybody like had experience with going not to the assisted living facility or the senior communities, but going directly to home health agencies? And how does that look? Curious.
Yes.
Sorry to change subject. I'm not trying to take over the call. I promise. I'm
No,
very,
no, no, please. We're here for you. I'm here for
Okay.
you. So yeah,
thank you.
I have an angle. Heather, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I didn't know this until like recently. My mom's one of her best friends from high school actually owns a home care, not home health, home care. Girl,
Sure.
by all means, yes, because there is a lot of opportunity there because of exactly what you just said. Put your family cap on, put your PT cap on, and like literally just start doing seminars. Call those health agencies, let them know like you're super interested in in what they do, what they provide. Like, don't present yourself as a PT or a realtor. Present yourself as an advocate for the community. And like, pretty much trying to promote them. And then what you need to do is once you make that offer, you see how interested, engage that. And I'm touching very lightly, Paul, the the BOD.
Mm.
But once you get and like you'll be able to gauge their interest, and once you're
Okay.
able to see the excitement, if it's reciprocated, it's like it's at that point in time that I make mention of my board of directors, and I give an invitation and kind of give my 411 on that, and they're usually really excited. They're very, highly reciprocating. And then if I have an event, that's where I get the event help, whether it's financials as far as food or location or what have you. So yeah, girl, by all means reach out to them, because it's probably a very underserved area, and
Mhm.
you already have a niche being a PT.
Yeah, thank you. I remember Heather, I think you talked last week on this call, I think it was Friday, that
Oh,
you
I
would
talk
just,
all the time.
but that
He
was
talks
there was
every week.
something, there was something big that you had just gotten, you're gonna be doing a seminar at a larger facility or something, I think.
Yeah, so I did one at the local library, and then I've also done
Okay,
one at one of the local churches. The library wasn't a great turnout, but I believe it was because the accessibility, like they had our room way off in the middle,
Mm,
excuse me, the middle of nowhere.
sure,
Um, but I met with a long-term care facility that's also one of the continuing care communities. And they have offered and raised their hand throughout that meeting to give me their facilities partner, come in and volunteer. I mean, it's amazing. And honestly, honey, just do it. Like, just start reaching out. Like, if I can give you a goal for today, pick like 2 or 3 out of your local area. Seriously, pick
sure,
2 or 3
yeah,
out of your local area, and just like chat GPT a good conversation back and forth, and then use that as like your go-to script, and just
okay,
open the door, because you truly, if you build your confidence today, tomorrow you will see success.
thank you. I like
You're wel-
it.
you're welcome.
Jeanette, Jimmy, thank you. That was fantastic. Jeanette, you have my phone number or no?
I do not. I'd be very happy to take
Write it
it.
down for me, please.
Do you work do you do service in Florida? I'm assuming yes.
I'm in all 50 states, but what I want to
Okay,
do now is
sure.
have a conversation because we're up against the clock. So
Yeah, yeah.
text me, we'll set a time, I'll call you, let's
Okay.
chat for a little bit, and I'll give you some ideas. My phone number is 856-905-7040.
7040. Okay, awesome. I'll text message you for the,
856-905-7040. Just shoot me a text, put your name in a text, and I'll get back to you. Gang, we're
okay,
up
I'm gonna
against the
say it.
clock. God bless you. Apply this.
Thank you.
Call
Thank
me when you
you.
need help. You guys have a great day.